Hey guys, so I am deciding to do a video. We are in the midst of a global pandemic, and this is not something that's happened since 1918. And so I'm figuring later on in life, these kids may ask questions about this time, and I wanted to be able to have something to document. We have been watching Moana, and to tell a little bit about where we are in the process, I think is today the 26th? So it's March 26th. We are losing track of days over here. And I will say things kind of got serious in the US pretty quickly, and it seemed overnight things were probably worse than what we realized, and what was being actually reported. On the 12th of March 2020, I went out of town with some girlfriends to Miami, and when we went to the airport, there were a few people taking precautions. There were a couple people you saw with gloves. There were a couple people that you saw with masks, but not a lot. We were definitely the oddballs in the airport with our mask and our cleaning supplies and our gloves. When we got on the airplane, we made sure we sanitized everything, even though at the time reports were that, the masks weren't really helpful and things like that. We now know it's the virus, COVID-19, coronavirus, it survives in the air. And as well as surfaces for extended periods of time. So it's amazing. We left on the 12th. On the 13th, there was a press conference held by the president letting us know the actual severity of things, and things started to shift pretty quickly. While we were in Miami, clubs started closing, people started taking a little more precautions, but restaurants were still open, the beach was still open. There was a lot that was still open. So we still didn't really realize the severity of things in the US as compared to, let's say, Italy and China, who've been hit pretty hard with this thing so far. That day, actually, Jaden stayed home from school on the 13th because he started feeling bad. My husband, Terrell, called me on the 12th and asked, should he stay home? He had some cold symptoms, and so we decided to keep him home on the 13th. Well, I flew back from Miami on the 15th, which was Sunday, and that day, school closures were announced for our state. The kids weren't going to be going back to school as of the 16th. Things started really shifting. There was an announcement that a TSA worker for the airport we were flying out of, they were found to be positive of COVID-19 coronavirus. There was a cruise ship that docked, and literally someone tested positive, and there were no screens, no checks. No fever checks, no questionnaire, nothing. Everyone was just let off the plane, and we saw a lot of those cruise shippers at the airport. At one point, there was a hazmat crew that walked in the airport. Things definitely shifted just from the 12th being in the airport to the 15th being at the airport. There definitely was a difference. You saw more people with gloves. You saw more people with masks. You saw more people taking things a little bit more seriously. And then when I came home on the 16th, grocery stores, I went grocery shopping to make sure that we would be able to quarantine as necessary. Groceries were not plentiful. And it's kind of continued down that road. Now grocery stores are setting limit on like how much bread you can purchase, how much, toilet paper is a huge thing these days. Luckily, I had just gotten some from Costco our wholesaler here locally. I got some from Costco before all of this kind of went down, but it's definitely a different time. Nothing like we've experienced in our lives, in our lifetime. Like I said, the last pandemic, global pandemic, was 1918. Like, so it's a big deal. Things have shut down. Today is the first day that our county has said stay completely in your home or you'll be arrested. So my husband actually he's an essential employee, and what that means is things like grocery store workers or police officers or nurses, gas stations. Those are considered essential. My husband is an operations manager for Amazon, and we are depending a lot on our Amazon orders since we're not able to go out, like I said, with the exception of like pharmacies and grocery stores. Put your shirt down, baby. So yeah, it's definitely a different time. We are homeschooling. We at home are having praise and worship, little dance parties with the little one. I am 36. Jaden is 16 for one more week. And baby girl here is 2 years old. So entertaining them for the day has been fun. We've been doing some gardening, reminiscent of my grandmother. And so they have been with us in spirit, planting all the things. We've been doing a lot of baking, so that's been fun. Jaden, what's the best thing about being home? What are you most thankful for being home? I know it's not ideal, but what are you thankful for?
Thankful that I don't have to get sick, that there's food here, and we have a lot of food here, and that I can still do my work online, so I'm still getting grade off of that, so that's still good.
Yeah, Jaden got 100 on his quiz last night. He was able to talk to his teacher and get a little bit of tutoring by phone, and we actually got into a conversation the other day about how I was able to do research papers when I was younger, and asked me if I had an email address, which that didn't exist when I was a little girl. So just learning the differences in the times has been kind of fun, kind of chatting it up with the kiddos there. But yeah, this has definitely been a very serious thing. We're taking it seriously. We are staying home with the exception of the grocery store. And again, with my husband going to work, he actually had to get a letter from his employer stating that it's okay for him to leave, to be out and about, to drive to work, because if he gets pulled over and there's no reason for him to be out, it's considered a misdemeanor at this point, to be out. So it's just important for everyone to take this thing seriously so we can be kind of done with this, so we can get back to our normal lives. The economy has taken a major hit, and we want to see those things turn around. We are prayerful for those who are struggling. You know, we even were concerned. Like I said, Jaden was sick, and when I came home, I didn't feel my best. Testing has been very difficult here. However, because of my travels and Jaden's symptoms, testing did open up on March 18th. There were drive-up facilities that opened on the 18th, and we went there, and Jaden and I got tested. Like I said, it's March 26th. I'm pretty certain I'm right on that date. Let's see. Yep. It's March 26th, and we got tested on the 18th. Jaden got his test results back on yesterday. I have yet to get my test results back, but I do feel a ton better. So I think that we're good, but it's just a part of the times you're just concerned. We had a normal cough, a normal cold. Baby girl still has a cough, but nothing serious. but it's just one of those things where you're concerned and you just want to make sure you're doing the right thing for your family and making sure you're not spreading this thing, even though, you know, others are dealing with the spread of it pretty badly. Like I said, I think the U.S. had roughly 200 cases when I went out, 200 reported cases when I went out of town on the 12th of March. And a week later, it was something like 20,000 cases reported. I think there's a significant difference in the numbers that are even reported as of now. You know, like I said, testing, it's been over a week and I haven't gotten my test results back. So those numbers are very skewed. You want to say something? Okay. Hi. So yeah, so this is just our documenting, you know, this moment in history. You know, I'm sure, like I said, our grandkids and our children's kids will ask us about this time, and so that's what this video is for. So praying for everyone's safety and praying for health and wellness across the globe, and with Christ we can get through anything. So stay focused and stay busy, and don't let this thing get you down. Being in your home, find projects to do. I'm laying floors. I have plans to paint a deck. Like I said, I'm gardening. You know, this is not the best moment in time, but it's important to stay busy so that we don't allow ourselves to get in a depressive state. So keep positive, and I love you guys. Bye.